So I want to talk about right now is the yield curve. So to understand this, we need to understand what a yield curve is. When the government issues debt, for example, you have your treasuries, your bonds, you get an interest payment for investing in that debt security for that company or public institution. So I'm going to give you an example of a normal yield curve, and it looks like this. So you buy a 1-year treasury bill, you get, for example, 5%. You buy a 10-year treasury bill, you get 6%. You buy a 30-year treasury bill, you get 7%. So your shorter term, you get a little bit less. The longer term, you get a little bit more because you're tying up your money for a longer period of time. What happens when we see an inverted yield curve? Now, this is what that means. That same 1-year bill gives me 5%, well, your 10-year gives me 4%, and your 30-year gives me 3%. So it goes down. And what does that tell us in history? It tells us the economy is sick. So asset prices shooting through the roof does not negate the fact that under the hood, the economy is sick. So I want to show you guys this. Let's take a look at this inverted yield curve history through time. So you'll notice the magenta shaded areas are recessionary periods. This chart goes back to 1977 until we are currently. The numbers 1, 2, 3 all the way to 7 are inversion periods, and you can see the inversion periods are followed shortly thereafter those recession periods. And it is astounding how accurate this inverted yield curve is. And something else that I want to highlight, you'll see below there, the unemployment rate. What happens to the unemployment rate as we are in this inversion period? Unemployment rate goes down. The trajectory is down until we're like right before recession actually hits. So what we're seeing in the news, jobs are good, unemployment's down to a historic low. These are normal for pre-recessionary periods. And not until we're actually in the recession do you see the job losses spike up. Here's a quick article on the performance of the inverted yield curve. So you'll see right here, inverted yield curve, is it still a recession indicator? An inverted yield curve has accurately foreshadowed all 10 recessions since 1955, according to the data from the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco. That's just telling us that this metric, this data, has been very, very accurate through history thesis and the last process on these ideas. And there's also another great thing to do is be prepared and don't ignore such a high probability of a data point. If you go through history, there are a lot of things that you can invest in, put your dollars in to protect yourself if this high probability scenario based on history does take place. Don't ignore this. Be prepared. Thanks for joining me. Expertise you deserve, experience you can count on.